I mean, surely you're studying about something right now, right? Trying to figure something out?
No, not really.
Ugh. So where would you say you are currently?
Not home.
Yeah? I'm genuinely interested. Because maybe I can help you out.
With what?
Well, I don't know because you haven't told me anything.
Because I don't have any position to support. Like, I can see
Okay.
without time, so.
You can go into time. As a concept, or...
What do you mean?
Well, you say you want to talk about time.
No, I said I can see without time. So that makes, like political points and just, like, talking points meaningless to me.
Okay, but what are you? That's what we're trying to figure out here.
I'm a person.
Something
Well, I'm a
specific?
shaman.
Concrete?
Hmm? No, I'm a
Concrete
shaman.
shaman? Concrete shamanism?
Well, shamanism is a very, like, broad term.
Yeah, that's why I'm trying to narrow it down. You live in a city and are a concrete shaman, correct?
Yeah?
So what are your rites of passage on that path?
Well, people like Lee, they come to me for advice, and then I do my ritual, and then I give them some advice that'll help them in the near future.
Okay, but you understand, I got stuff too.
Oh, like what?
I worked my way up to the sixth dimension. Well, I had higher, but I fell. Now I'm working my way back. I have mastery of fire, earth, and air. Working on the water element right now. It's hard.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, I could say that I've broken this, but I mean, you can't really say you have it until you have it.
Yeah, I understand what you mean.
It shouldn't be this hard, but for some reason it is. Because I've been here before, and it was easy peasy. But now it's hard, for some reason. Got to figure that out first off.
Well, that's
You
because,
you studied
well,
occultism at all?
oh wait, are you familiar with Time Cube?
Yeah, the hypercube.
Yeah, so
That's
since there's
that's just the fourth dimension, though. I'm past that.
yeah, but our world is still in a time cube.
Yeah, I get that, but we're not just in a hypercube. We're above the hypercube. We're in all the dimensions simultaneously. It's more or less awareness of the current status. That's why I asked you where you were.
No, well, I'm not very sure because I see without time.
Okay, but you got no idea.
Not really, no.
So you would be water elementalism
I guess.
or air. Hmm. Trying to figure this out. Uh, concepts of infinity. What do you think of those? That's related to time.
Um, Well, infinity is just a way of encrypting something.
Mm-hmm. Have you made any progress on encryption?
Uh, Not really. Like, I don't have any interest. It's not like I'm trying to gain any power or wealth. So,
So what happened then? Because originally I was very power hungry. Were you always like this?
yeah.
So you just have one mastery under belt.
Uh, I guess you could say that, yeah. Well, recently, I had, what's formerly called a psychotic episode. And I got
Oh,
diagnosed with,
when was that?
in December.
This year?
No, last year. December.
Oh, I mean, yeah, that's what I mean.
Yeah, yeah. Then I got
Okay,
diagnosed with schizoaffective disorder.
schizo, huh?
Yeah. And after I looked into it, I realized that Jews, they have a gene that's associated with schizophrenia.
Yeah, you didn't know that?
No, not until I looked into it. And it makes sense because like when I look at it from this perspective, after having experienced it, like it makes sense how Jews have like a lot of power in the real world because they just use their abilities.
Their con abilities? Like what abilities?
The powers that are granted through schizophrenia,
Such as?
the ability to.
Well, go on.
So I was just
Like,
reading these things. Sorry. It's well, you have the ability to you basically can have like ESP abilities, and they're able to manipulate people. So that's why they have like.
yeah, but that's by building constructs up front. It's not like they have the actual ability to manipulate you.
No, they
Like,
do.
have you gone up to somebody and fucking taken the brain over?
No,
See? It's
but
always some sort of fucking deal that they made.
yeah.
Some sort
Well,
of setup.
uh, actually, there are like insects that I've been able to control. Like I just put my hand in front of them.
Faustian deals. That's what the Jews specialize in.
Wait, what is? How do you spell that?
Faustian?
Yeah, how do you
No,
spell it?
Faust. Faust.
Yeah, for you.
Faust.
Oh, okay.
You know you make a deal with the devil?
Yeah.
It's a Faustian deal.
Oh, okay. I just didn't know how to like the
Or what
specific
is it? The monkey's paw? Have you heard of that?
monkey's paw.
Yeah, you ever heard of that?
No.
That's a Faustian object. Have you seen the movie Wishmaster with the
Uh,
genie, the djinn dude there?
no.
He's Faustian spirit.
Okay.
Yeah, the Jews don't have powers, dude. They just fuck everybody else over.
No, but they do have powers because, like, how else would you explain them having so much influence in the real world?
Because they're really good at crunching numbers and doing economics, and since everything is based around economics, they can just sneak in and infiltrate,
No,
and
but
then they just
they've
pay
been
off
doing
people
this
here
since
and there.
before then.
Yeah, I know. They've been doing it for thousands of years.
Yeah, they've been doing it before. Like economics were really, uh, like as powerful as they are now.
Yeah, I know it's a construct. Basically, economics is an imperfect philosopher's stone, right?
Uh, Philosopher's Stone.
And then they obfuscate the fallout, and they're really good at setting people up to take the fall, so they don't suffer the consequence of their actions, or they set it up in advance so the person knowingly subscribes to it beforehand, so that there's no chance of them ever losing. They do the divide and conquer. They sit inside the host entity and subvert it, weaken it, and then they sell it out to rivals behind everybody's back.
Yeah, but you have to understand that they have a power that others don't, and that's
Are you sure?
yeah, like the gene that it lets them express their schizophrenia more acutely because so you know that there's only like one collective mind, right?
There's actually 35.
Really?
Yep.
Hmm. Well, my understanding of it was there's only like one collective mind, and you're just
Well,
given.
there's a conscious mind, and then there's the subdivider, and then there's the minds that sit behind it.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah, but anyway, so it's all connected, and that's how you're able to like experience hallucinations and delusions and stuff like that.
And yeah, you can amalgamate them,
And
but
that's how
you can do anything with them. But a lot of
yeah,
people don't know that, so they just typically run free.
and you see Jews, um they have to be like taught from a young age that what they have is something that others don't.
Is that what happened to you?
No, I just it's more of just been like a uh self teaching thing for me. So that's why like I'm not very uh sharp, I guess.
But you're autodidactic.
But I'm what?
Autodidactic.
I gotta look that up.
But you are, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Because I'm autodidactic too. I don't really buy into things. I typically do my own bit, and I prefer experience over theory. I have plenty of theories, but I mean, like, they're not worth anything unless they're tested.
Yeah.
And no, I'm not an experimenter either.
Oh yeah, so well yeah, as I was saying, since there's like a collective mind and the Jews are more they have this schizophrenic power. They're able to they're able to see like other intentions, and they just see it as a hallucination or delusion. And that's why if you look throughout history, like there's been publications where Jews like they've said like they've been slaughtered and like they've been slaughtered and like 6 million of them have died, and that's been like a repeated number.
Yeah, but that's not actually how it actually went down.
Yeah,
That's,
but that actually happened in the 1940s with
it
Hitler.
didn't actually happen.
It did.
Not to the degree they say it did.
Yeah, 6 million did die.
A lot more than 6 million died, but they weren't
But,
Jews.
yeah, I know that, but I'm just saying for Jews specifically.
No, less than 6 million died.
No, 6 million died in the Holocaust.
You
But
realize the Holocaust is called this great sacrifice?
yeah, and the Jews they knew that it was
So,
just like
so
a
either they intentionally forfeited over their own people,
yeah they did for power.
or it didn't happen the way they said it did.
No, so
Those are the two options.
no, that's not the only two options. So what happened is the Jews, they knew that they were gonna get eradicated for what they were doing. So they just constantly kept publishing that 6 million Jews have been killed. Like you can look that up and like that's been true. Like that number comes up like 50 or like 100 times throughout history.
It's been doubled multiple times.
What do you mean?
It's been doubled the number multiple times. I'm
Yeah,
not
I know.
denying that Jews died. I'm just saying that the number that they give you, it just keeps getting bigger.
Yeah, I know that. But after they did die in the Holocaust, they they fabricated it so they would gain more power. But they also knew that it was a sacrifice because that's what the word means in their language.
Oh, I'm already there, dude. I know.
Yeah, but I'm saying they only have this power due to get the gene that they have that gives them schizophrenia or a more pronounced version. Or, yeah.
Okay.
I just wasn't sure if you made that connection yet.
I don't mean to rain on your parade, but I'm more powerful than most Jews.
How's that?
I just am. So you said you've been helping Lee, right?
Yeah.
Interesting. What have you been helping him with?
His marital problem.
Oh, he's got a marital problem, huh?
Yeah.
Have you actually been helping him, or have you been fucking it over?
I've been trying to help him.
Okay. I'll give you the benefit of the doubt. Just asking a question, are you a Jew?
No.
Very strange that you'd bring up the Jews then. That's definitely not one of the first topics of discussion. Strange. But go on, so you've been helping him.
Yeah,
How
because
does
he
that
says,
usually go? I mean, how much
well, he
time do you...
doesn't usually listen because he's Mexican, so he has like
Okay.
80 IQ. So he doesn't understand my advice typically.
Okay.
Yeah, he says he's afraid that his wife is gonna kill him, so that's why he doesn't have any guns in his house because he beats his wife. Yeah, that's the picture of him and his wife.
Oh, shit. Hey, Lee. Um, if your wife's gonna try to kill you, maybe you should have guns. But I want you to know that by having guns, you'll probably end up shooting your wife. Okay? So maybe it's not a good idea to get guns, but if she is
No, he's afraid
trying to
that she's
kill
gonna
you,
use the gun because he gets blackout drunk all the time.
huh? Okay. I'm just wondering here. What does she usually do, though? Well, I mean, what gave him the original idea in his head that she was going to plotting behind his back? I'm just curious. No need to go into it.
I'm not too sure, to be honest.
It's past, I guess, then. Hi. It's very uneventful.
Yeah.
Talk about reincarnation. What do you want to know about reincarnation? Like, there's multiple forms of reincarnation, and it has to do with the model that you're going with. Well, yeah, what model of reincarnation would you find preferable as opposed to real?
Well, me or the guy asking?
Anyone. He's going for the pagan version. I don't even know what the pagans say, but I figured them all out. What really goes on with paganism? The pagan civilization is fueled 100% by human sacrifice. It's a mushroom cult. Usually. Not always. What do you know about that, though, man? Do you know anything about that?
No, not really.
I know you're not typically. Well, you're a shaman. That's the druids, not the shamans. Shamans are different. You got anything?
About reincarnation?
I'm throwing that out there.
No.
There's a couple different angles you can go. Trying to keep it general so we don't go off in one weird category. Yeah, I'm trying to give it to you so you can lead it, so we can go that route if you want to go that route.
Well, you have to understand that. Well, I'm not too sure like what he means by reincarnation. Like you have to specify.
Well, forget that. It's just paganism then. That's a more broad topic. Druidism. You know anything about that?
Not really.
You know anything about the mushroom cult?
Nope.
Okay, so how do you frame your model for your shamanism? How do you do? I know what you are. I just want you to explain it to me.
How do I frame? Well, I don't know. It's hard to describe.
It's not that hard to describe, dude, because I've actually gone pretty far into it. But I don't use the nomenclature because it's kind of I don't know, dude. It's a phase. It's kind of like a throwaway.
What, shamanism?
Yeah, to a degree.
I don't know.
It's been defeated, is what I'm saying. So if you wanted to get in that specific faction, you'd have to do more work to give rise to it.
Uh,
So I mean, like, that fight is 10 times harder than the fight I can see already.
well, back to your original question. Well, like my framework of it, I'm
Yeah, your model or whatever.
what is it's the healed healer or the broken healer.
Okay,
Are you familiar with that?
but can you explain it, define it? Because there's probably different there's probably a variant. People typically use their own versions of shit when there's some other form out there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um. Well, for a shaman to first begin their experience and their path of becoming a shaman, they have to first deal with any like struggle that they have to first try to solve or console any trouble they've had in the past. Like if they were raped once,
Most don't.
you know. What do you mean? Most people don't, or most
Most
shamans?
don't. People don't.
Yeah, I know.
So they're always constantly running away.
Yeah, that's why. So I've confronted that already. Like my personal traumas. So I've been able to go onto this path to become a wounded healer.
Okay.
Because you gotta, because you have to first fix uh, where you were in that time and space in the spirit world before you can physically progress in the physical world. So that's what I'm in
Um.
the progress of doing, the process of doing.
Okay, so I mean, like, how do you see it going down? Like, okay, you pass that, then you get to the next thing, right?
Well, I don't know if there would be a next thing.
There is a next thing.
Like what?
There's okay. First you deal with your inner bullshit, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and then you gotta work on energies. Okay, and then you gotta work on sigil works, wards. You gotta do boundary placements, territory organization patrols, familiars, goetic demons, um, spirit journeys, uh, just broad-based drug experimentation. Uh, Either pure or mixed. You can go with either or. But I mean, you want to get differential. You want to get the experience, and you want to avoid the traps. That's the big thing. So I mean, that's just a starter. And then I mean, you want to study the enemy's pattern as well. So you can't just stay internal. You got to go external as well. So the idea here is to step back from society, figure things out until you know yourself, then jump in, jump out, jump in, jump out, jump in, jump out, until you've been around the block 100,000 fucking times.
Well, the thing is, I don't have any enemies.
Well, yeah, you do.
Well, no, not.
There's the great enemy.
What's the great enemy?
Well, I mean, you could go either or. There's the Demiurge, there's Satan, there's Lucifer. There's Allah. There's the principalities, the circles of hell.
Well, those are just different forms of spiritual. Those are just different spiritual entities.
Yeah, but you
They're not
understand that when you
enemies.
define it, that you create it. Okay? Okay, infinity, define, definition. Do you get what I'm saying?
What do you mean by you
Once
create
they're
it exactly?
defined, they take form. Okay? So the more you define something, the less ethereal it becomes. So in essence, you give it form to smack it down. Otherwise, it remains infinite. That's
Oh, yeah,
what
but
everything is. You pull from the infinite, give it definition, form, see what it actually is, then defeat it, and then supersede it, become
yeah, but
stronger than it.
there's no reason to. But there's no reason for me to engage or anything like that.
There is, because if you don't, you get entrapped. There's forces at work that work to ensnare you, entrap you, to keep you down. There's frequencies. All right, you understand the electrochemical uh, dielectric magneticism going on in the brain is field work, right? So you walk through fields that are external, apart from you, that affect you, that become you.
Yeah.
So if you're not on par, they fuck you up. Intentionally fuck you up.
Oh yeah, but I've already have a natural counter to that. Let me see.
But you got words?
Not words, but
You got the clarity of mind?
let me see. I gotta. I
What's
forgot
your
exactly
tactic?
how that works.
Because I mean, if you surrender to it, it'll just get worse.
Well, no, well, through meditation, I'm able to reach clarity of mind, like you said.
Yeah, but I have clarity of mind perpetually, in a permanent state of being.
Yeah, like I've only had to meditate a few times, and now I can call upon it whenever. Like the ability.
But that would also mean that you have additional abilities on top of that. Do you?
Uh,
Well, you
like
alluded to
what?
it earlier.
Hmm?
You alluded to it earlier, so I assume so.
Uh, alluded to what? To having
These
extra.
things existing,
What things exist? I'm lost here.
the clarity of mind, the little threads that make up the building blocks, the pathways, the ladders that you climb to obtain. You alluded to it, so you gotta have some knowledge, right?
Uh, I don't really understand what you were trying to say.
All right, well, never mind then.
Okay, but so the thing I have to counteract it. Are you familiar with piezoelectricity?
Oh, you'll have to explain it to me.
Okay. The electrical charge that accumulates in certain solid materials in response to applied mechanical stress.
Oh, well, what about it?
Okay. So
Hello, welcome.
basically, like the more pressure you apply to it, the more amplified it gets.
Uh-huh.
And I have these maps of healing crystals in quartz, and I have them pressurized so that their powers get amplified.
Are they magnetic?
No, they're not magnetic.
Are they ionized or non-ionized?
Yeah, they're ionized.
Okay. I get what you're going for.
Yeah, so it filters out the unwanted.
But what about the
presence.
fields, though? What do you do about that?
The
Because
what?
those objects aren't. You need large amounts to save yourself from the fields.
Uh, well, I have a decent amount already.
I guarantee you, it's not enough. Unless your house is made of them or some shit like that. Something crazy like that.
Well, there's a place downtown that's made of it. Then I go
Well,
down
hold on
there
now.
to
Where do you
meditate
live? Where,
sometimes.
like, I don't mean to. You don't got to get into details or nothing, but like just a general location.
In California.
That's not good enough.
But Northern California.
Yeah, I've been there. I know what it's all about. What do you think of the current state of California?
It's basically just being used as a tool at this point.
Well, how do you see it going down? Like, what have you noticed in the belly of the beast? Because about 10 years ago, everybody loved California, but now it's just like, whoa.
Well, there's
You know, I'm tired of looking at this kid throw up.
well, with all the unfiltered immigration and all the different regulations here, it's just vastly different from all
I'm
the other
Dreamskull.
states,
Good to meet you.
and it just has values that are in line with
Well, the
the
context here,
American
Craig.
Constitution.
The context here, Craig, is I was told that Lee, more or less, or he has contacts that are advanced. I'm advanced. I like meeting other advanced people, so we did a little meetup, see what this guy's all about. But yeah, there's your context, Craig. Anyway, sorry about that. As you were saying?
No, yeah, I was just saying that soon enough, California is just gonna be full of what is it? Mestizos and very low IQ people, and they're just gonna like overrun the rest of the country eventually. So I think it's just like it shouldn't even be a part of America at this point, and it basically isn't.
Huh. Hmm. Well, I mean, I could go in. I feel like you don't know anything about it, about the mechanics of what's going on. So if I were to talk about it, could you keep up?
Yeah,
All
I
right.
think so.
So California or whatever, right?
Mm-hmm.
Basically, it's basically a bridge, that entire eastern or western portion of the country there.
Mm-hmm.
Basically, Mexico is allied with Canada, and they're trying to build a bridge between, like, through America. And they tried to do Texas to North Dakota, but we stopped them. Okay, and they were able to get the highway through, but not politically. Okay, they're not able to. So then they changed route and went up to the California.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, the mega structure to build the what the fuck is it? They got the Council of Foreign Relations building up the fuck is it called? We're supposed to have the three countries combined, not like a full annexation, but just on paper, and then they exploit the borders, and then we were supposed to get a new currency called the Amero. Yeah, there you go, NAFTA. Yeah. Yeah, they put in NAFTA, but NAFTA is not working out for them as well as they thought it would. But I mean, they did Jewish into those wars to stabilize the Middle East. So, like South America, all the fucking bullshit, migrant crisis bullshit, that's funded by the UN directly.
Yeah.
Okay, like Venezuela's fucking bullshit, right? So that area is stabilized, and then like they economically fucked over Argentina. So I mean, two of the main areas of Spanish-speaking world in South America are fucked. Okay, so then they're like, oh, that's okay. You can do just go to America, right? So they just give them all the money, and then they do the bullshit. I mean, like, okay, so America technically owns Mexico. Okay, like the real government of Mexico is the cartels. That's what they're able to build. You understand?
Yeah.
Mexicans can only build cartels, unfortunately. The Mexican government is basically a proxy government of the United States. And yeah, we did all that fucking narco terrorism in the 80s. So you could I don't know. We kind of caused it. It's all our fault. But now they're using that as a tool against us, if that makes sense. Because the whole drug running thing was about laundering money, and it's to the degree that we use the money to fund all the official stuff. And if we don't have if you legalize drugs or whatever, you'd fix the problem, right? But
Yeah.
if you did that, then we couldn't use the money to finance we couldn't launder the money to make the official shit work, so it would collapse. That's why they don't do it. Okay, and basically, from what I gather here, is they're fucking over the generations and doing the migrant crisis. The Jews are doing the subversion, and they're doing the whole, well, we need these for the workers. Basically, from what I gather, is we figured it out, and we're not happy about it, so they're just trying to pave us over. So, typically speaking, what would happen is we would hold them accountable, right? But before we can hold them accountable, yeah, I mean, but they're sabotaging us. So, yeah. Basically, what they're doing is the UN or whatever, everybody pays into it. So all the countries, they gather up, and there's a GDP percentage that they pay into the UN, right? It's not like NASA, the fucking secret funding from NASA. It's something completely different. But I mean, they do exchanges. So I mean, like, there's a collection of wealth that's hidden away. Okay, and I mean, technically speaking, everything in the Western world is based around deficit spending to make more wealth. But they do the boom and bust cycle. That's the model. It's the Keynesian model. In order to do it, there are better ways to do it, but you understand that they control it 100%. They can create it. They can do it in live time. They can crash markets in live time. It's like, I don't want to do that. Push a button. It's dead. Okay. Now, it's based around those trade agreements, right? So that's what allows them to do it, because it's so intertwined that if something doesn't go through, there's a chain reaction, and that's what causes it. It's so complicated that they have controls of it, so nobody can ever really find it because they circumvent each other. The whole corporation bullshit, the corporation games, and there's corporation city states that line it up, make sure it doesn't go too crazy because they keep power. But I mean, all these other corporations or whatever are becoming entities in their own right. They haven't quite got the city-state status, but they're trying to build it. But at this point in time, they're trying to decide where to build it. Okay?
Yeah.
And it's always been America, but they don't like America. They just decided, oh, we're going somewhere else. We don't like it. They just decided one day it's not good enough. Even though if in 50 years or whatever, if they actually went somewhere else and built the same thing, it'd be the same thing. They're just, we want to change the pace sort of thing. But I mean, it'd be the
it'd be the same thing.
It'd be the same thing. So they're just, yeah, it's more profitable right now, but you understand that there's prices, wealth accumulation, wealth generation, right? And then there's values, that give it that standard, right?
Mm-hmm.
There's underlying facets to economics that they don't understand, and if you move it elsewhere, or if you go elsewhere, just like that, they all move to China or whatever, right? Well, China's got different values completely, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it's profitable in short term, but long term, they'd get fucked. But they don't see it. They're short sighted. They're dumb. And I mean, like, you could say that, like, there's evil and stupidity, but it's the same thing. There's no difference. Because, I mean, we live in the age where information is readily available, right?
Yeah.
But they just ignore it. That's evil. They're evil. Everybody, all the sheep people are evil. Yeah, they're dumb, and they might not be consciously evil, but they're ignorant.
Yeah, it's just ignorance.
Which is more or less the same thing at the end of the day.
No, it's not really evil. It's more just like a neutral standing.
Well, I mean, the people are supposed to have free will enough to choose their destiny, but they've long since given up on choosing, so they've willingly sold themselves out.
Well, free will is just an illusion.
It's not an illusion.
It is.
Because you can have a long-term goal. Like just think of something in 30 years. Like, in 30 years, what do you want? What do you want to see in 30 years?
I want to see Lee's child go to UC Berkeley.
Just some random shit, right?
Yeah.
It might seem just whatever. Like, the people who say there's no free will always do the short-term game, because that's where their fucking body, the chemicals in their brain fucking influence them. But if you have a long-term goal picked at random and you go to that, then you've literally created it, made it a reality. That random thing that, oh yeah, okay. Because there's also entropy, right? So there's a structure, and it's a temporary understanding that decays. It's entropy. So while you're moving in that direction, everything else is dying. Everything else is falling apart. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
The only thing that's true, the only thing that's real, is that fucking long-term goal. Until you win.
Well, no, but you have to understand that.
And if you throw that away, then there's nothing. And
Yeah,
then
but
there's no... Basically, when people say there's no free will, is I am incapable of having long-term goals.
No, it's not that. It's just that you're not the one making that decision. Like, you didn't
You
make
can
the
make
goal. The goal
decisions.
is already there. You just chose to pursue it.
Yeah, it could be random though. Like in 30 years, I could be riding a unicycle.
Yeah, but that's already predetermined for you.
It's
You're
not
just choosing to
predetermined.
actualize that one reality.
I could be eating goldfish in 30 years. Subside on goldfish. And only goldfish. That's my long-term goal. Or I chop off a leg and hobble down Main Street at 6:45 a.m. in the morning.
Yeah, but that's you have to understand, like, anything you can come up with is already predetermined.
It's not predetermined.
It is.
It's literally not. You're just incapable of having long-term goals.
No, you just can't see without time. I think that's the issue.
No, I can see without time. There's no time. I don't have any clocks in here. I don't know what time it is right now.
Well, that's something different. Like, I'm able to know what time it is, but I can also see
So
different
you can
realities.
see what time it is right now without having a clock.
Yeah, like if someone asks me, I can get it right to about 90%.
Okay. So how is that seeing without time?
Because I don't. That's just I think you're conflating two different things.
But that's what it is, right? You said you see without time, and if you're
Yeah.
constantly able to see time without clocks, then you're not seeing without time. You're constantly seeing with time.
No, I can see.
With time.
Uh, you got it all wrong.
Whereas I'm completely detached from time. It has no meaning to me. The only thing that exists is right now.
Well, we
Past,
have to
present,
understand.
past, present, and future don't exist.
Yeah, it's all just one act.
It's in the present. You're in the present.
Yeah, I know that, but to think that you can't know what time it is while seeing without time
Well,
is.
you could choose to see time, or you could choose not to see time. Oh, it's predetermined. No, like I can see a time in the future, long away from here, at random. I can go over there. 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 Let's make this real. Let's make this real. Let's make this real. Let's make this real. Like all these things are bullshit to me. So I can go any direction, and they're all the same.
Mm-hmm.
I can just choose one or the other. I can roll a dice. I can flip a coin.
Okay.
Is that predetermined?
Yeah, like all of the outcomes are predetermined. It's like how you mentioned earlier about infinity. It's just a form of encryption. Like
How
everything
so? Go on, explain it.
is. Well, there is a way to calculate like how stuff is gonna happen, but it's just we don't have the technology
But you
for it yet.
understand that everything's constantly breaking down.
Well, no, because
Yes, everything is constantly breaking down.
everything has already happened.
Within
Just
systems that we understand, it's real right now. But as I'm moving towards that object that's 30 years in the future, you understand that everything is long since died, even a quarter of the way there, halfway there. It's reformed. It's reformed. The only thing that exists is the decision, the long-term goal that I chose at random. right now because I've broken with the standards.
I don't think I'm following.
So as I'm moving to that object, that direction or whatever, everything is constantly dying to the degree that everything dies or everything around it doesn't matter. It's gone. Including the rules that governed it originally. So yeah, I could see myself there, but I'm not going to be exactly that. It's going to be some form of that, but it's died and rebirthed so many times that you'll find the free will in the window of opportunity, not either or. It's neither free will nor determinism. You go through the chain of consequence. So I made the decision. Now I got to go through the chain of consequence, and what I'm going to get isn't going to be what I expected, but it's going to be a form of it because everything is constantly dying and being cycled out. Like the status of infinity isn't a number; it is an action, right?
Yeah, I know that. It's just
To the
doing
extent
a
that
thing.
you are from the infinite, just defined in this shape, form, whatever. So as I move there, everything is dying, but I just keep the definition, but it's not going to be that. It'll be something else. It's not stable. It's not static. It's ever changing. To the degree that one is infinite, one is equal to infinity, because it's never complete.
Well, what do you mean by that?
It's never complete.
What's never complete?
You can keep counting to infinity, right?
No, you can't count to infinity since it's not a number.
That's right. It's just the action of doing it. So it's not a number, it's an action. See, the people tell you this stuff to ruin you, so you can't ever fucking build. Can't build, create, whatever. They don't want you building. They don't want you creating. They want you to die. They can't murder everybody all at one time. Sure, they could, but it'd be hard to maintain power. It's easy to take over, but it's hard to maintain. So they do bloody. They gotta maintain bloody. But if they just trick everybody into committing suicide, then everybody dies, and it's the same thing. But they don't suffer the consequence. That's why they go with this diversion model right now. So that you can reduce all these things to what they actually are. Like all the LGBT shit is basically victims of pedophilia incorporated.
Yeah, I know that.
Population control. As an example, there's multiple things. There's several different faces of it, and they all fuck you over in a different way. If you buy into it, they'll trick you into killing yourself, all the while believing you have no free will.
Well, there is.
So it doesn't matter. you understand it's weaponizing ideologies.
No, we have to, these ideologies are pointless.
There are, they have points to them, dude. They create reality.
Yeah, but we have to understand that reality doesn't really matter. There's no point to it.
It does if you want to have a good one.
Well, it's just,
Do you want to have a good one or do you want to have a bad one?
that's just your perception of it.
Because you understand if you forfeit your ability to build and create, things just constantly decay, as I described. And
Yeah,
then
but
you
it's,
get less and less and less and less. And then before you know it, you're unable to do anything because you have to have a bar for entry.
yeah, but it's good or bad. That's just your perception of it.
No, if these are static things, like the society is based around having a specific amount of money in your bank account, and if you don't have that specific amount of money in your bank account, you don't have a house.
Yeah,
You
you
live
don't
on the
need a
street.
house. Yeah, there's nothing wrong with that.
You starve.
Yeah, and you just,
You're prone to the elements.
yeah, and that's
You don't
fine.
have control of the temperature.
Yeah, you're not explaining why any of these are
You
bad.
get illness. If you get hurt, you can't go to a hospital. Things get worse.
Yeah, these are all fine. I don't know how any of these can be seen as negative.
You spread disease.
You have to explain why any of these would be seen as negative. It's just
It's
perception.
negative. It fundamentally destroys everything.
Yeah, but you have to explain why that would be bad.
Because if I took a child and beat the shit out of that kid for no reason other than to say, "Oh, that's fun," is that good or is it bad?
Uh,
Objectively speaking.
objectively speaking.
You understand that
Well,
objectively.
there's different variants of good or bad.
What do you mean? In
Is
what
it good for
case
the
would that be good?
society? Is it bad for the society?
In
Is
what
it?
case would me beating a child for no reason be good for the society?
Well, it would be. Well, if you're arguing for the society.
Well, I'm not arguing for the society. I'm just saying there are points at which something is always bad, and yeah.
No, because it's just different ways of perceiving it. Like for the person engaging in the act, it could always be seen as good, no
There's
matter what act it
implications
is.
to every action. So if you follow through on something, there's going to be a chain of consequence. Like other people see, if they see it and they know it, what happens? What's the do you get my point?
Yeah,
There
but
are consequences for your actions.
yeah, but you have to explain why that would be There's no objective way that these are bad though. It's just all your own perception.
No, there is an objective reality
No, there.
because there's objective consequences that happen to you if certain things were there's cause and effect, right?
Yeah, there are consequences, but they're just consequences from other people.
Like like chop off your arm right now.
Okay.
Just chop it off. There's no good or bad. I mean, it's just perception.
Yeah.
Just mutilate yourself.
Well,
For funsies.
You'd have to explain why it would be bad.
It's bad because you don't have a hand. If you
Yeah,
chop
but
your
why is
hand
that?
off.
Yeah, but why would that be bad?
Because you no longer have a hand.
Alright, that's not the reason.
You are less capable. If you chop off both of your hands, you can't do anything.
Okay.
Like,
and why does that matter?
Because if I were to you're talking right now, right? And we're able to facilitate conversation,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Yeah.
So if somebody were to come up to you and chop out your tongue, you wouldn't be able to talk with us, right?
Yeah.
so we wouldn't be able to facilitate conversation.
Okay.
So if you were ever suffering or whatnot, right, and you needed to communicate to us that we needed to help you with something, you wouldn't be able to do that. So you wouldn't get the help you needed. So you would just needlessly suffer.
Yeah, but suffering is just.
But to the
It's
degree
neither
at which
good nor
is
bad.
like I can like ramp up the pain receptors in my body here, right?
Mm-hmm.
And make it unbearable for you.
No, but you have to understand that.
Like
Like, you're not.
if I were to strap you in and start torturing you, and then for the next however many years until you finally kick the bucket, your body overloads and just breathes its last breath. Like your entire experience from now until that point would be abject misery, suffering to an absurd degree, anguish, just the worst, the worst. And I would say that's bad because you probably wouldn't like that.
Yeah, but you have like a short-sighted view of this.
It's an example.
Yeah, I know that, but
It's taken to an extreme, absurd level just to I don't know, test the waters. Like you'd be fine with that. There's no like.
well, there's no like objective good or bad. It's just
There is an
how.
objective good and bad, dude.
No,
Because if
it's
I
just how
want,
we see it as humans.
okay, objective, right? Just a word. Objective is in the word, right? So if you have
Yeah.
an objective, what does that mean? It means you have a goal, right?
Yeah, and there are no goals.
There are goals.
No, there's inherently no
Like
goals.
if I don't want to fucking see people suffer, then I objectively would say that that is bad. And it would be correct.
Yeah, but my point is like there's no. Like take for example, we have two rats and one eats the other. The rat society doesn't care. There's no repercussions. It's not objectively bad for either of the rats.
Actually,
Well,
if you
it's
put a
objectively
rat
bad for the one that died.
if you
But
put a rat in a container and eats one of them, the rats will treat that other rat differently.
yeah, I know that, but they're not
Unless they
going
all
to.
engage in cannibalism, then they're all fine with it. But if one rat eats, if one rat eats another rat and the other rats are freaked out by it, and they're trapped in the cage with this rat that ate the other rat.
Yeah, I'm saying like they can be off put by it, but they're not going to like. They're not going to like really do anything about it. Like it's more or less just. It's not. It's just like if you engage in like a collective society. That
Yeah, but
determines
you
if something's good or
understand that there
bad.
won't be a society if you do that for an extended period of time.
Yeah, but you have to. And, like, there's nothing wrong with that. Like,
Because
you're coming from a point of view that's saying society is like objectively good.
society isn't objectively good. Society is just what it is. I'm just saying, as an individual, if you do bad shit to reflect badly on the society, it'll happen more often than not. Again. Things tend to repeat.
Yeah.
So if I individually go out there and beat up an old lady, okay, that's in the statistic now. It's more common.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe just sliver. It happened.
Yeah,
So
it happened.
like accidents today goes down to days without accident 0.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is like
There's
there's no.
trends in momentum, right? You understand that, right?
Yeah.
So within a society, your actions are basically momentum. So if accidents happen all the time, they'll continue to happen all the time unless you do something about it. And
Yeah,
if
but
you're accident free for an extended period of time, it's easier to keep it and to maintain it. And yeah, you might slip up, but accidents happen.